Oh wait, can I just, I can search for Thorn. Not a lot of Thorn stuff. There's only 5 Thorn things total? Huh. Okay. Let's try that out. See how it is. Play with it. Is Cohh being thorny? I am. Rogue Love, appreciate it, bud. Thank you. VA for Barb, Derp, Mercer, am I hearing right? Matt Mercer for the VA for the Barb? No. He is voicing a Barb, but it's Minsk in Baldur's Gate 3. And I guess technically that's a Ranger, but... Yeah. Horny or horny? Oh, both. Yeah, both. What is a Thorn and what does it do? A Thorn makes it so when an enemy hits you, they get damage. Minsk might be a Barb since they didn't have Barbs back then. If a person hits you with a bow, do they get hit with thorn damage? Yes? Alright, that's a little weird. Not gonna lie, it's strange. Very long thorns. Okay. How do I attack without moving? Is that hold shift in this one? Yeah. Standard shift hold. Cool. Loop. Oh, we gotta break a bunch of this stuff down. Thorns popping off. They seem to be okay so far. I'm gonna kind of lean into them a little bit and see how far we can take it. I don't like the online only stuff. I don't think anyone likes online only. Online only is not good for players in most cases. In almost all cases. Good for devs. Well, I should say it's good for companies, not devs. The whole company. Hey, Pet Story. Is there any way to play the game offline? No, I don't believe so. Go in here. So you can bump into players? Yeah, I mean we bump into players all the time. It's a small scale online multiplayer game. So Whenever you're in a zone, you're usually with just like a handful of other players. It's not like you see every player all over the place. It's not an MMO. It's just a small, you know, kind of like a Destiny or a Warframe. Kind of like camp city and cities in PoE, sort of, except even smaller scale. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen more than. I mean, granted, I haven't done any world events, but I don't think I've ever seen more than like 4 or 5 players in the Overland. It's definitely a small scale. Need to do a lot of selling. Do I play more Mechabellum? Not sure. I had a good time with it. But I definitely realized with Mechabellum that to do well in that game, you're going to have to learn a lot about that game. And I don't know if I want to play it enough to really get good at it. But I mean, it was fun, dude. It was fun and super deep. Like, that game was very surprising. I took that sponsored stream for it because I wanted to play with Dan. I love playing any game with Dan. It really surprised me how much fun I had with it. I like how you can kind of continually improve on your strategy, which was interesting. I didn't know that's how it worked. It's Cohh, if he hoards a full bag for over 30 minutes of active gameplay, it'll give you a larger inventory. What? What? No. That's a joke, right? Buckaroo, there will be a video up about that today, but yes, the TLDR is I took it down and the Twitch VODs are up if you want to check those out there. Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be it. Great. I got a skill point. Yeah, I saw that. Hey, Thalian Zell. Thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate that feedback, and thank you for your 1 year of support. Also, Mr. Naminix, subbing to /Cohh. Thanks, bud. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Why do I feel so high up? Did my chair get bumped up? Weird. Okay. Oh. Okay. Do this one. We're gonna lean into Thorns to start with. Any reason to play hardcore on beta? The reasons to play hardcore on beta are the same reasons that you'd have to play hardcore on like release, which are the length and girth of your penis, your electronic penis. So if that's consideration, I'd say absolutely go. Am I playing on hardcore? I'm not playing on hardcore on this character, no. Because I don't have a huge amount of time for the beta this round, and I want to make sure we get the world boss down. That, and I'm doing a lot of experimenting with barbs, so I'm not necessarily playing it well, we'll say. Not that I ever do, but you know, well-er. Also,
I must wait.
Dude, I love how all the bodies get pushed back up. That's actually phenomenal. I'm like throwing their own buddies' corpses at them. Wow. There's one thing this game does well, it's the presentation. It's kind of great. Okay. Do I have... Oh, I do have Town Portal. Let's do that real quick. Right after you said e-penis, my D4 client froze and caused my PC to repeat e-penis repeatedly. Thanks for that. My absolute pleasure. Let's do common magic.
Come back if you need work.
What are your thoughts about the dungeons and bosses in this game? Do you think they're fun? I think the dungeons and bosses so far that I played in this game are absolutely enjoyable. The first couple times you do them. I'm a little concerned that the end game leans into those dungeons. And I'm looking forward to seeing if the additional mechanics, mob types, and difficulty can add the freshness they're claiming. So I will say, for sure, I'm looking forward to doing our 100 Cohh run of this game and probably doing all the dungeons at least once. Like, that's one thing I'm actually looking forward to doing. That's one of the things I think could be really fun. Doing all the dungeons one time and seeing all the bosses and all that kind of stuff, I think that could be really fun. But I am a little concerned about the end game and how that's going to be. Yeah, we'll see. But I will say I've enjoyed every dungeon I've done the first time. Even the ones that are kind of a slog are still not terrible. They're still not bad. They're just, you know, some of them are, before they redesigned them, some of them were a little counterintuitive in terms of the path you had to take through them. But apparently they not only worked on that, but they have since approached the design with more of a focus on alleviating the tedium. So we'll see how much that kind of extrapolates out to hopefully all the dungeons we haven't done yet. Is this game worth $70? Or is it $70 worth of fun? Oh, I think so. I think from what I've seen, this game is going to be worth $70. It runs well. It feels good. There are high quality animations. There's high quality cutscenes. There's high quality voice acting. This is a game where I feel like if you're going to charge $70 for a game, the presentation clearly shows that a lot of money and resources has gone into it. So I feel like in a lot of ways, this game is the opposite of like Redfall, where in Redfall you're playing it and you're constantly going, that doesn't really feel like $70. That doesn't really feel like $70. Those cutscenes aren't, you know, a $70 game. This game's like the opposite. You watch a cutscene in this game and you're like, oh, that was awesome. You play the game and all the animations connect well. Sounds sound great. You hear so many voices in this game where you're like, oh, that's good. That's good voice acting. Like, this game just feels like a AAA game, which is great these days because not all AAA games do. I feel like this game and Horizon are great examples of games where it's like you can tell they really poured resources into making the game feel good. So yes, I do. If you like ARPGs, I feel like this game is probably a $70 game for you. Yes, especially considering how big they're claiming the game to be.
However,
so
desire for knowledge has become more dangerous.
If you don't like ARPGs, I don't know if this game's going to win you over.
I require a host of
it plays like a pretty standard ARPG. So yeah, it looks good and it plays well, but if you don't like the gameplay loop, I don't know if it'll win you over. What if I only like the campaign? I can't answer that as I have no idea how long the campaign is. Anytime you are basing a game's value and including the length of the game, you have to know the length of the game. So, you know, I don't think anyone can answer that right now. If you're only playing the main story, and the main story is like 4 hours more than the beta, I mean, obviously that's going to be a big issue if you're paying $70 for it. If the campaign turns out to be like 30 hours, and there's a bunch more awesome cutscenes and a huge iconic conclusion, I'd say that's probably going to be worth it.
My husband, Theodore, left our home
More!
in the middle of the night.
More! This is one of my favorite quests in the beta. Not gonna lie. What are your thoughts on the pass and its price? It's kind of a turnoff to me. It all depends on how you feel about a lot of things. It's a complex issue. It's a complex issue. There are people who are hard line into, if it's not pay to win, I'm fine with it. And I think that's valid. I think that's valid. There are other people like me though, that even if something's not pay to win, it's fine if it's there a little bit. But when you make like your whole game about it, it starts to bleed into the base experience. And that's kind of the camp I find myself in these days. Like I'm okay with a little bit. I understand companies want to make money, that's why they're here. But at the same time, when it starts feeling like the game is just there to make you use all these different ways to give it money, the feeling changes of the game for me. Not for everyone, but for me. So, you know, those are kind of the two camps, and I'm more in the second one for this game. Again, I do want to preface though, everything we've seen so far says there's no pay to win, and that is a huge consideration. That is pretty much the reason I'm planning on playing this game. If it turned out that they had pay to win mechanics and all that flurry of payment options, that would have been way too much for me. Your face is pay to win? Yes. I'm gonna get some of these. I feel like there's more of these this time. That's like our second one already. Can I get those now? How many oobles do I have? We got 70 oobles. I think I can get some of these now. Let's go take a look. Would you consider boosters as pay to win? Not in Diablo's case, because all of the boosters are in the battle pass that's free for everyone. But if you're asking me, is it pay to win if one person can pay to progress faster in the game? My definition on that has changed over the years that I've been a gamer, and these days I would consider that pay to win. These days I would consider that pay to win. If you can give a game money to have a fundamentally different experience where you gain power faster than other players, that is a form of pay to win. I would call it pay to progress, which a lot of people say is not pay to win. And I used to say was not pay to win. But I feel instead of pay to progress and pay to win being next to each other, I've kind of come to understand that pay to progress is kind of under pay to win. It's like a tree. They're not next to each other. They're under each other. So it's a different kind of pay to win. It's not as bad as outright buying power. I would say that there's like levels of pay to win, and pay to progress is not quite as bad as pay to win. But I think when somebody says that pay to progress and pay to win are the same thing to them, you can't really argue, like there's no real super valid argument against that. And I've looked into it a lot over the last decade, especially with a game called Warframe, which I enjoy playing. I used to say Warframe was not pay to win. I used to say it was pay to progress. But I had a lot of discussions with a lot of you guys. I had a lot of discussions with a lot of developers. I even ended up having a discussion with a Warframe developer about this stuff. And if you break it down to the most basic at-heart principles of what pay to win is, pay to progress is a form of pay to win. That's just my opinion on it. It's a form. It's a different iteration of the same concept. But it's an interesting, that's a whole conversation. It's a whole conversation. Some people are die hard that pay to progress is not pay to win, and they have valid points. It's not really a black and white issue. It's very much a discussion. Yep. All right, let's go get these Ooble things. Is it really pay to win when it's just PvE? The traditional definition is no. The traditional definition was pay to win was in a PvP environment, and you would the traditional definition was like in World of Tanks, when you could only buy golden ammunition, and golden ammunition did more damage against players than anything you could make in the game. That's pay to win. You are paying to win against other players. You are winning against them, pay to win. However, over time, just like all gaming terms, let's be real, over time, it's become a little more complicated and a more nuanced.
Until next
So
time.
these days, pay to win can absolutely exist in single player games. And I'll give you a good example. There was a game called Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and you could buy skill points. You could buy skill points in the game. Now, the problem with that is that you know that there was a person or team that designed that system. And when they were designing that system, they asked themselves, how can we encourage people to use that system? And the answer there is, well, if we want people to buy skill points, there is a chance that we want them to have a harder time than they would have earning them in the base game. And this is just an example that goes to any single player game with a cash shop that has ways you can buy power. And even though we'll never know for sure, even though there is no proof of this anywhere, we fundamentally know there is a chance that the base game changed because there was a form of buying power quicker. And just knowing that, just knowing there's a chance, taints the base game. So is there pay to win in single player games? Absolutely. Can it affect the single player game experience? Absolutely. Also think of the XP progression in the original Assassin's Creed Origins. People were playing through the main story in Assassin's Creed Origins and not even getting to the required level of power to beat some of the endgame bosses. But you could buy experience boosts. So you know at some point when they were making how fast you gain experience in Assassin's Creed, they were going, okay, let's tone that down so we can increase how many players buy experience boosts. Did that conversation actually happen? Maybe, maybe not. We'll never know. But it could have, and that taints the whole experience. So it's that kind of thing. It's that kind of thing. It throws in all of these not good questions that you have to ask. And that is why pay to win exists in single player games. Yeah. Hey, Cohh, can we buy some gameplay? Can you shut up? That's fair. And the answer is no. Let's have a discussion about it. Valid. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. That's right. All right, now I'm going to shut up for a while and play the game. But your name isn't Ted? You don't have that. You have to buy the premium pass to mute Cohh. That's right. You've got to buy my premium pass, chat. What about being able to complete the battle pass instantly by buying skips, which then unlocks all the XP bonuses on the free pass? I don't think that's how that works. I think they specifically said that's not how it works. No, I think you can only skip the purchasable content by purchasing things. Oh, also there's level requirements. So yeah, I don't think that's accurate, but I don't think that's accurate. They are from the looks of it taking great pains in making sure this game is not pay to win on release. I think Immortal burned them a little bit, and I think they're playing a bit on the defensive. So I think on release, I'm not saying later, but I think on release we're not gonna see them try to slide in any pay to win stuff. I can say with relative certainty they're going to try to get close to that line as the game progresses. Because that's what Blizzard does these days. You gotta be real about that. That's how it works. But I think on release we're pretty safe. Yep. Oh wait, let me rephrase that. Until the reviews go out. So maybe not release, but yeah. Until the reviews go out. Then we'll see. That was a legitimate question. Thanks, Cohh. Oh, absolutely, dude. I love talking about this stuff. I love talking about games.
May you know bliss eternal.
I'm gonna be quiet for this part because it's amazing.
Fyodor? What has happened? Oh, heavens. No. No.
Such sights I have witnessed. Such pleasure. Such pain. I must have more.
What? Fyodor? How is it that you...
More!
Please, go after that woman who did this to him.
More! 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 More!
More! I need to ask Julie to make us some more emote. More! Love it. Yeah, he's become a flagellant, pretty much.
It's no surprise Fedor was drawn to me. But I have given only what was desired. His petty soul has been torn asunder by agony and ecstasy, but his flesh is unyielding. You will not interfere.
Yeah, just throw her body around a little bit. Yay! This isn't a quest, is it? Oh. Oh. Cool. Healing potion upgraded. Wait, I guess. Oh, I got 2 skill points. Yeah. Does the percent for maximum life ever go up? No, it doesn't. Okay. The woman was a demon. I dealt with her.
If it's a reward you want, take the dagger from his chest and leave me be.
How do you open that screen? What was that screen? What was that screen, chat? The one where you claim the skill point. I think it's on map, right? Isn't it here somewhere? No. Tab and then W. I can't seem to do that here. Hover over the region first. Ah, yeah, there you go. Perfect, thank you. So if you hover over the region, the very top right, it says W view rewards. And then you go to the region progress. And that'll let you claim the stuff in here. Thanks, chat. There you go. Hit S on the keyboards. S is skills. Thank you, though. It was a good attempt. I love how at this point people are just guessing. Try W. Try S. Is it S? Try J then L. Did that work? No? Okay. Try L then Q. Was that? Is that good? No? Okay. Alt and F4? No? Yeah. Give it a try. Find out.